This is a hot topic. It's not a new one. It is still going around. I want to weigh in on this one myself. Giants. Not the New York Giants or the Giants in New York, but we'll come back to that in another video. To define what a giant is beyond the scope of this video. I just think it's funny how this is the only thing that pops up when you search this topic in general. There's a lot of different definitions to come about when searching this topic. And one does, however, need to know my definition or what I'm talking about when we're talking about giants. To get the most out of this video, there has been stories of giants all throughout history. Legends, myths, tales, back to when man first learned how to write. Some of the first stories ever told and some of the greatest stories ever told have all at least contained giants in some form or another. Be that as it may, the actual scope of this video is to ponder the validity of such a topic. Is this a real thing or does it even really matter? Should we entertain this or is it all just nonsense? To keep this short and sweet, I typed it in like this because this is one of the first topics that I always wanted to research on my own. One of the first topics I wanted the answers to. And to keep it straight to the point, it's one of the main topics that I still can't debunk. Out of all the research that I have seen and done myself, I still can't completely throw this one out as a valid and relevant topic to discuss. And so, typing it in just like that, giants in the Bible. You see what type of images pop up. It leaves a lot of speculation and a lot to think about. There's a lot to unpack with this one. I look at it as like a gateway topic rather than a rabbit hole topic. You got to wrap your mind around this before you can get on to some of the other more graduated topics. Allow me to draw your attention to an image something like this, depicting certain elements I would like to point out. Are giants real? Are they not? But if they are, it stands to reason that this depiction could be somewhat accurate. It could be stated that there were war times with the giants and times of peace. It might also be said that in this is the origins of actual racism, the wars between the giant race and the human race. Now, some displays like this do exist to give you some sort of idea, to throw you off the trail or throw you on the trail. I don't know. If you let me tell it, these are just tall people. We are discussing giant people, the scale of which is incomprehensible to most of us. Beings that are so gigantic, when the bones were sent to these museums and laboratories to be examined, they had nowhere to hide. They were running out of places to put these things, so they rearranged the bones and put them on display and call it a Tyrannosaurus or Triceratops or whatever this is you see on display here. And now that's one that I would consider to be a rabbit hole. Dinosaurs. Are they real in the way that they taught us, or are some of these exhibits the rearranged bones of giants, monsters, creatures of legend put right there on display for everyone to see? And the next part of this theory crosses into the Truth in Movie series, so I might do a whole breakdown of this particular movie. But don't throw it out because I'm using a kid's movie as exhibit C while making the argument that they are leaving huge clues right in front of our face. It could just be a stretch of the imagination to say that our past history could have looked more like this in terms of scale, architecture, and even some technologies that might have been present during these past epochs, illustrated right here in a kid's movie. So I didn't dream this one up. Notice the scale of the bunny relative to the other smaller animals below. and in relation to the architecture, the buildings in the foreground and the background. Evidently, there are multiple layers of different sized beings sharing the same ecosystem. Again, in terms of scale, architecture, and technologies. We were compared to being like grasshoppers onto them in at least one book or another, which might not be such an exaggeration once you factor in enough of the right information. In parting, I leave you with this to maybe think about, spark a conversation, or at least get a chuckle out of you. Are we the giants? Could we all be living in the land of the giants and just so drunk off the juice that we don't even know? Let me know what you think in the comments.